Welcome to Grow with Video, the show that's here to help you sell, educate, and recruit in your business using the power of video. All right, so I have Brian here with me. Brian's been a good friend of mine for a long time. He runs Launch Point Marketing. I want to jump right into it. Brian, when I'm out filming, one of the things I run into regularly is that sometimes they involve me, clients will involve me in the whole marketing process. And so I get to walk them through and kind of talk to them about everything they're planning. But a lot of times, and I've seen this with major companies, they'll say, hey, come shoot, we've already got a plan. I show up, I film, I get home to edit, and I'm like, they didn't have a plan. And this actually happened to me last month with a very large association. I went out and filmed, and then I started doing some research, and I had to call them up and like, listen, we just filmed this whole thing, but it's actually not correct. And anyway, so tell me about why people need to pitch, why it's important that before they film, because your video should not be the first thing you do. I'm a professional videographer. Video should not be the first thing you do. Why do they need to start with a pitch?
Well, every sale you have made or ever make starts with a pitch, right? And I think that a lot of times businesses and organizations spend so much time perfecting their product or their service that they forget about the words that they actually need to use to sell their products or services. And so when someone asks them, well, what do you do? They can't find the right words. And so that's one of the things that we have worked very hard at is simplifying what the creation of those pitches looks like. Because the worst thing you can do is when someone asks you what you do, and I'm sure you have this all the time when you interview people for their business on video. It's like, well, tell me why someone should work with you. And they're lost for words. And so what we have created, and I'm excited to kind of talk through a little bit, is the 3 pitches that companies need to double the value of their organization.
Awesome. I've been surprised. I've worked with companies that have been, $30 million companies, and I'll walk in and, they have a successful company. Like their company is growing, they're making sales. But then I'm like, man, if they would just kind of perfect this so that all their sales team were saying the same thing, they were kind of having the same thought process, I bet you they could easily add 10 to 20%, or at least come to market faster and look better when they're presenting this product. And I see this all the time, again, with large companies that they have these guys that are really good at their craft. They're good at making a motor, they're making a whatever paper, anything it is, but they're not really good at the marketing side of things. To kind of walk me through the process of why, of kind of creating a pitch.
Well, so just to go back real quick to one thing you said, and that is that they get lost and they stumble when someone asks them what they do. The single greatest thing that you can do to kill a sale before it even gets to the pitch is to show a lack of confidence in what you're presenting from the get-go. And the number one way to not be confident is to not have the words. The single greatest tool you can have in your company is a pitch that takes the messaging on your product and turns it into customers, right? And so what we've done is we've simplified it, the 3 pitches you need. And they're really not 3 different pitches, they're just 3 versions of the pitch. So we've got 5-second pitch, 30-second pitch, and 2-minute pitch. And really it's just a journey, like a path that you're taking that consumer on, that prospect on. Because here's the reality, like someone says, you need an elevator pitch. Well, you do, but you don't need to jump right into that elevator pitch, because if you jump into pitching your full 2-minute pitch or even your 30-second pitch without building some curiosity, like that's not going to come off the way you want it to. It's going to come off as salesy and annoying and like, wait, I did not give you permission to just waste the last minute or 2 minutes of my life. Yeah. And so what we do is we start with the 5-second pitch. Okay. And so that 5-second pitch needs to be something that builds curiosity. I like to say it's handshakes and headlines, right? So you use it in networking opportunities when you first meet someone, but you also can use it as headlines on your website or your landing page. And it needs to be something, not like, hi, I'm a real estate agent, right? It needs to be something that gets someone to ask you, how do you do that? Right? So I'll give you a quick example. Let's use the realtor as an example. Right. So a lot of times when someone says, hey, what do you do for a living? A real estate agent will say, well, I'm a realtor. I help people buy and sell houses. And there's no curiosity built in that, right? Yeah. So we're working with a realtor right now, and what we have told her is to say, well, I help make sure that the biggest transaction, financial transaction of your life doesn't blow up in your face.
I've had that happen.
Yeah, it's not fun. And so what we do is in that moment, we're building that curiosity because that person's like, well, what do you mean? How do you do that? And now you've got them. Now you can go into your 30-second pitch. Well, you see, I'm a real estate professional. And what I've found the biggest problem people face is, and now you're into your 30 seconds. So here's a really quick way to remember the 5-second, 30-second, and 2-minute version of your pitch. 5-second pitch, all about building the curiosity. 30-second pitch is all about presenting the biggest problem that they have and then offering a high-level solution. Like, what is it that you do to fix that problem? And then only after that 30-second pitch is accepted by the prospect, right, and that you can see that they are just right there with you step by step, then you can go into your full sales presentation, start to break down some of the benefits of what your product or service has, start to talk about objections and obstacles that you may know, the common ones, addressing them before the prospect even has a chance to think of them, and then moving into that next step offer. What is that next step or that first step that they can take with you in their customer journey? And really, that process we have found to work extremely well, where you start with the 5-second, you move into the 30-second, and then you finish with a 2-minute pitch. And it's just a beautiful way to welcome that prospect into that conversation instead of pitching at them. It's pitching with them.
I like it. All right, we're going to stop this video here, and then we're going to start the next video, which you can see after this, which is kind of the basics to creating your pitch. Thanks for joining us today. This show is hosted by Fire Tower Media. Please check out firetower.media to see how we can help you create your next video to help you sell, educate, and recruit for your business.